This is Inside the Ring with the Old Man.
Welcome to Inside the Ring with the Old Man. This is going to be our first episode here. It's Friday. We've got a lot to talk about. I'm really excited about this podcast. Episode 1. So we got a lot of things to go over. How you doing, old man?
I'm doing good. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We have, you see up here behind us is the Inside the Ring with the Old Man. We're going to talk a lot about boxing, MMA stuff, but we're also going to talk about real world stuff. Anything from girls. Everybody loves girls, I would think. But any current affairs, we're gonna put it all out there, put it in the ring, and we're gonna discuss it. But I think what we should do right now is talk about these heavyweight fighters that we have in the heavyweight division, like Wilder, Joshua, now Ruiz, who surprised everybody by just annihilating Joshua, so let's just get into that topic.
Well, here's a question that I have is, what do you think that the loss to Andy Ruiz is going to do for AJ, his status at the top? Because you got to remember, there was 3 guys at the top. Everyone obviously wanted to see Deontay Wilder. You wanted to see Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. And Baby Miller backs out, steroids or whatever, eating the Mexican meat, same shit that Canelo's doing. And he pulls out, so they throw in Andy Ruiz, and he fucking pretty much stuns Anthony Joshua. So what does that do for Joshua at this point?
As far as I'm concerned, I didn't think Joshua was a great fighter. Anyways, to be honest with you, and I'm going to say it, people are probably going to yell at me, I don't think any of these fighters that we have in the heavyweight division today are anything like we had in the 90s, even 80s and 70s. There's something going on. I can't put my finger on it. Well, it has to do with money, of course. But these guys a lot of them are paper champions. You got a lot of big men. But my point was proven when Reese went in there, which has fast hands, smaller guy, and then he didn't look physically, he looked dumpy. He didn't look like, in other words, you never judge a book by its cover. Joshua went in there thinking he was going to have an easy time with this guy. Reese come in there seriously, wanted to fight, and he brought the fight to him, has fast hands. These big guys can't handle that. Now, they may pack a punch like Wilder packs a punch, and I believe anytime Wilder hits somebody, they're going to go down. I don't care who they are because he hits so hard. But Ruiz is in there. He's serious, and this guy will give him a fight. And to be honest with you, he's probably one of the best guys I've seen in a long time in that heavyweight division. Regardless how he looks, he's a fighter.
Yeah, but speak on Joshua's
I can't
chin.
speak on his chin. He has no chin.
Exposed.
He has no chin. He was exposed. He looks good when he's sitting there. But remember when you're in the gym and you're shadow boxing, when you're shadow boxing, the shadows don't punch back. So when you get somebody that's going to fight like Ruiz, he overwhelmed him with his speed. You can't depend on that one punch knockout. Although Wilder has done it and done it very well so far, so we'll see. But let's run down these other guys in that heavyweight division. What do you think?
You
don't even know who they are, most of them.
Well, yeah, there's only 3, maybe 4 guys that actually mean as shit in the heavyweight division right now. It's right. Tyson Fury,
right?
Which I think will outbox Joshua and probably score a knockout just because Joshua's chin is so fucking. It's proven now he does not have a chin. So
yeah, he needs a pillow.
Yeah, he just needs a fucking pillow. That guy's definitely going night.
I don't know. I want to see this Croatian guy. What's his name?
But you're not gonna get to those guys until these other 3 guys square it away. So you got the definite rematch between Joshua and Ruiz, and that's gonna take place either. Joshua's telling Eddie Hearn, his promoter, he wants it back in Brooklyn, Madison Square Garden. Good idea or bad idea? Good idea or bad idea?
I think it's a good idea. He lost it
back.
here. He should try to win it back here. I mean, that stands to reason. The UK fans, though, they're not going to want to travel back across the pond. But, yeah, why not? I mean, he lost it here. And it would, if I was him, I would do it. I'd say, I want to win it where I lost it, Man, I would do it. I'll let you know. Let's talk about that fight. When did you or did you not see the fire was out of him after Ruiz, he got knocked down first. He gets up, comes back to knock Joshua down. But did you notice the demeanor of Joshua was the same in that third round as it was in the seventh round? He had his armed elbows on the ropes, not looking at the ref, and the ref asked him, "Do you want to fight?" He responded the exact same way as he did in the seventh. Yeah, but he's like, it looked like he wanted to quit. It looked like he wanted to quit in that third round. So that's why I find something was a little suspect about the fight to me with Joshua. It looked like he was ready to dip out right then and there in the third round. It really did to me. I don't know, maybe it was just me, but I really believe that he wanted to quit after the third round knockout.
I just think that he was rocked, and he was hurt. I just think he was rocked. He was hurt. He was drunk.
He was drunk.
He did get hit
the rest of the round,
kind of on the
temp up high on the temp.
Yeah, right behind the ear,
top of the
ear,
right.
On the side of the head. It fucked up his equilibrium. So I think that he was drunk, but he was also getting hit.
Yeah,
and I don't think he expected.
I don't think
Ruiz to be that fast.
The speed and the power. He had power there too.
Well, he's definitely got power.
He was moving. His hands were moving, and he was hitting them with some power. And I think again, this is what happens to a lot of European champs. They come over here, and they're the best. They're the best that they can be in their country, and when they come over here, but then they meet our opposition, and it's the fighters over here. They're a different caliber because remember, we're a melting pot of people from all over the world. That's how we were formed here. So, I'm not taking anything away from anybody else in their countries, and I'm not doing that at all. What I'm saying is that the caliber of fighters, because I believe there's more fighters in America than there is anywhere else in the world. There's more ghettos. So let's put it that way.
Heavyweights.
Well, not heavyweights at the moment.
They're
all European. Yeah.
We got three guys to mention. You got Wilder,
right.
You got Baby Miller,
right.
and you got Andy Ruiz.
Right.
All those guys are from America.
And again, Wilder again. I'm not just talking about European. Now Wilder, I don't believe technically is a good fighter at all.
But nobody's going to be able to take his punch.
Nobody can take his punch, and he seems to be able to take a punch fairly well himself. But again, has he been tested? I'm real interested to see what Ruiz would do with somebody like Wilder. Now, how Wilder? See, here's the thing: has Wilder really been tested? Has his chin been tested? Not really. Not really. They don't stay in there too long with him, so he doesn't have a lot of punches on the button from anybody.
Ortiz had him rocked, and so did Tyson Fury.
Yeah, that's right. He did. He was staggering around. But see that, and again, we got this. Ortiz and him are signed again, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna.
That's supposed to go down.
I want to see. It's interesting to see, but again, I think Tyson. I watched him in this last fight with Brazil. If I was him, I would fight just like he did. He came on that first round with Brazil, and he's standing there because he's a puncher, man. Anyways, why waste any punches? He doesn't have any. He needs to get that jab in there. Everybody in the industry will tell you, you need to establish a jab. If you don't have a jab, you're almost guaranteed that you're not going to be anything in the fight game. You need to establish a jab. And these guys that don't have a jab, they don't last, especially if they're power punchers. A power puncher like Deontay, he could sit there and like he did with Brazil, he came out and he watched and he timed him, and then boom, that's what he should do. Plant his feet, hit him hard because he knows if he hits him on the button, I don't care who you are, I don't care how good your chin is, Wilder will knock you out. So if you stand there and let him do what Brazil let him do, he's going to take your head off. So a guy like Ruiz will take the fight to him, stay in his face, keep it, and won't let him get set up for the big bomb. And so that's going to be the thing. Really interesting to see somebody like Ruiz going with a guy like Wilder.
I think Ruiz doesn't even make it past the second rematch with Joshua.
You think he's going to go down?
Yeah, I don't think he makes it past that.
You think Ruiz is going to get knocked out by Joshua?
Yeah, Joshua did knock him down in the third round.
Sure.
He wasn't hurt.
He wasn't hurt, no. He put him on his butt.
I just think AJ's he's going to put together a better game plan. I don't think they had a game plan going into fighting Andy Ruiz. I think he took a look at him, and he just he didn't even.
Normally, I would say I would say the same thing. I would normally agree with you. But what I'm looking at here is that now once a man has lost to another man, it already plants a seed in him. Either there was something going on behind the scenes, and I'm going to say it's some sort of a payoff or something.
Well, he was happy. He was happy after
he was
lost.
happy that fight ended, and I'm saying, why so happy? If he just lost the title to a guy basically a nobody. I mean, a guy, a fill-in fighter. Why in the fuck are you so happy? I mean, it's like, and you were so easy to go. That was kind of a controversial stop. He was hurt. He didn't want to go on. I could tell you that the ref made the right call. But the thing is, he was walking around shaking hands and glorifying Ruiz. And I mean, I've never seen such a loss. I mean, I've seen guys, sportsmen, and
AJ is a big, strong, fast, technical, athletic boxer who's a showman. No, he's a showman. I mean, he was walking through the lobby with 20 people in his entourage.
Yeah, when coming in.
I mean,
but I mean, he lost.
No, I mean, just
usually they put their head down.
I'm talking about before the fight, just walking through the casino.
Right,
I mean,
he does
rolls
that,
with
He's
20 fucking entourage guys.
Yeah, he's a fan favorite.
All smiles. I mean,
he's a likable guy.
Yeah, I think he's a guy, again, one of these guys who started boxing at 18 or something,
Yeah, technically, I think he's one of the better technical fighters, but his chin suspect. But again, I think Ruiz is going to go out there headhunting. I'm just going out there. He's going to go out there.
I think experience played a big part in that fight. I mean, 157, 147 amateur fights for Ruiz.
Right. I'm just wondering, here's the problem that I see for Ruiz. These guys are humongous in compare, and they say he's 6'2". I have a hard time believing he's 6'2". He looked like he was 5'2" standing next to Joshua. But they bumped their stats up. We all know that. They bumped their stats up. His reach is 74. It's probably 72. His height is 6'2". He might be around 6 foot, a little over. I mean, he whatever. I'm just going to call it I'm going to say it like it is. It's like they do the same thing in basketball. But this guy comes out there to fight. He's got a lot of heart. Now, he's got to be a bad son of a bitch when he has all those amateur fights. He has 150. I mean, that's a lot of fights. That's a lot of experience, amateur or professional. That's a lot of fights. So it
doesn't look like he's had that many fights.
No, not really.
I mean, this guy is.
No,
I mean, he's not.
But it is the reason
I guess
why
he is in shape, but he's not. I mean,
right.
I mean, he doesn't. I mean,
yeah. I mean, yeah. He's
cardio.
He's had one torta too many, I think. But he says that about himself. He knows. And the guy, I mean, at least he's. But I think what he's doing now, he's telling Hearn, "I want $50 million."
And that's what
you know
said,
what?
Yeah.
Go for it, baby. Hey, man, it's a fight game. If you can get it, more power to you. You are holding the cards right now.
Million.
I don't think he'll get $50 million, but he's doing the right thing. He's being smart because you know what? This is not a long. You don't retire from this at age 65 like you do in a normal work. But so what I'm saying, he's getting his money if he can. More power to him. Like I said, he could set himself up. He has to take care of himself and his family. Let him do what he has to do. But again. Here's a guy that I know if any of these big guys hit him, he will go down. And I'm thinking, I would normally say you're right, but I have a feeling that if what we've seen was really what we've seen, and I know for a fact Joshua was hurt. That third round, he was hurt. He never really recovered, I don't think. That's going to be laying in his mind.
Let's say that Joshua does come out and he beats Ruiz in the rematch.
Right.
Do you want to see him fight Wilder?
I don't really care. It's not a fight that I don't even think. I think he will get knocked out right away. Wilder will fucking annihilate him, because again, and I don't think. But again, Joshua does have a technical. Fighters make fights. You never know the matchup. Sometimes we could sit here and match it up all day long from outside the ring. The story is told inside the ring. So if they get together, I've often said. I said before this. Last Joshua fight, I said he's a good technical fighter. But I went back and I started looking at Joshua's fights. He gets rocked. He gets staggered around by everybody that he fights. And it was just a matter of time. And I didn't know anything really about Ruiz. So I didn't know what he had. So I didn't say one thing or the other. I just knew that Wilder, when he puts his glove on you, you're going to go down. And I knew for a fact Joshua doesn't have the chin.
Well, I mean, you got to give it up to Ruiz. I mean, the guy,
you do.
You got to give it up to him. Okay, Tyson Fury. After he's fighting some guy named Schwartz, 28-0 or some shit like that. But I mean, he's ranked 58.
He went.
Tyson
Tyson will beat him.
Obviously, he wins.
problem.
A rematch with Wilder after that fight, because I mean, I think Tyson is saying he wants 3 more fights before he gets into the ring with Wilder. 3 more. That seems like a lot.
No. Well, 3 more fights, 3 more paychecks. Why not? And you know what? He's good at what he needs to do because he knows he experienced that power of Wilder. But you got to give Tyson some credit, man. He stayed in there, and that fucking punch he took was a good one. He went down, he got back up. Now, again, we know Tyson's fast. We know he's for
I
big
thought
man.
he was dead.
Huh?
I thought he was dead. The way his head hit the back, the way his head hit the canvas. I mean, that guy was fucking.
It was a good shot. But he got back the fuck up. I mean, he got back up.
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, he got up.
Boxed him.
He got up on the ref's 10 count, but by a true clock, the stopwatch, it was 11, 12
He was
seconds.
trying to get up on the 7. It was he went, and then but it was like 10, and he would.
What do you think about that? The ref counted his 10 count,
right?
And Fury did get up. However, if you time it from the time he hits. Well, it was about 12 seconds.
Okay, but it goes
technically.
It's the lost. Ref when the ref.
But do you agree with that though?
Yeah, that's the rules. That's the rules. I play by the rules. If when the ref starts, I've seen refs do this long count. They'll stop, and they'll go tell the other guy to get back in his corner. That gives the guy on the ground more time. I've seen them stop right in the middle of a count, 5, and then they'll stop. Hey, get back in your corner when there should have been 6, 7, and then the ref's telling the guy. Then he goes back. That's his chicken shit thing. When a ref does that, I've seen big fights like that. That one wasn't this way. He just was 1, 2. So when the ref counts to 10, I go by the ref, except, you just have to go by, that's the rules. That's the way you have to accept it. But he got back up. And he got back up, and he was, he had his feet back underneath him, so you got to give it to him. So yeah, I agree with it. I agree with the call.
So who's the best out of those 3? I mean, right
best
now.
Fighter?
Yeah. Well, I guess 4 now. I mean,
best boxer is Tyson out of them, but he's the best. There's no doubt. But the best is the guy that's holding the belts. Wilder's got the Ruiz.
Ruiz has 3 of the belts.
And right now, he's the best, and that's what you got to respect. And you got to respect Wilder holds the other belt. So but Tyson's the best. You said fighter. You asked me who's the best fighter. I didn't say who. You didn't say who holds the most belts or who holds the belts.
Yeah, who is the best?
I think the best technical.
There's 4 guys at the top of the food chain in the heavyweight division.
The best knockout artist is Wilder. The best fighter, best boxer is Tyson. The best guy holding the most, Ruiz.
But that's the thing, though. These guys, they gotta fight. I mean, all 4 of them, those guys, they all gotta fight. Each of them needs to take a loss or 2 each, and we really need to see who the best.
Right. Back in the day, this ducking was okay. A fight. Here's the thing. I understand the fighters.
Well, it's all about the money.
Right. I understand that the guy's trying to get the money, but you know what? It's also the fans have put you there. The fans got you to where you're going, and so when you have a title, you should defend that title to all comers, top 10 contestants. You should defend that, and you should be made to do so on a fair basis. And it's not done that way. That promoters sway who's going to fight. It's a bunch of crap. Fans, we want to see these guys mix it up. As fans, we're the ones paying those fucking astronomical amounts of money for ringside or for pay-per-view or whatever the case may be. We're the ones putting that money out there. So you should give the fans what they want. We're the ones to put you there. That's one thing these people forget. Not the fucking promoter, what he wants to do to line his pocket and his bank account, or the fighter. The fighter should, he should be able to pick within reason who he wants to defend side with. But when you start ducking a guy, that's when the association should step in and make decisions for him. Because hey, you're ducking, you can't do that. Fans want to see it. It's the only fair. It's the right thing to do. Fight the next guy in line, but don't pull a Canelo, which Canelo's great for doing. He did that.
Well, speaking
with
of
Triple
Canelo,
G.
I guess he was supposed to sit down with Golden Boy and De La Hoya and everybody and pick his next fighter for, I guess, September. He normally fights in September. And after Triple G got the win over that Rolls guy, do you think he should fight Triple G next?
Well, I think it's a shame that Triple G would have to fight him for the 3rd damn time. I think it's a shame because Triple G proved himself already, don't you think?
Well, I mean, I mean, I'm
I
a
think
Triple
most
G fan,
fans
so I'm a little
know he
biased.
won that last fight. No, they know it.
The first fight, I would say that Triple G definitely won that fight.
He definitely won.
Definitely won that fight.
He got boned.
The second fight could have
It
gone.
it was close, but you know what? Nevertheless, he got boned from the first fight on. So now he's going to come back to do it a third time. That's screwed. But it's all about the money.
New trainer though.
Yeah, I know, and it had nothing to do with the training. What?
New trainer.
I thought, and that's sad. That's what when fighters start doing stuff like that, it's because what do I have to do? He started probably thinking, this is just my guess. I have no inside information. I don't know what the hell went on, but he's saying, he went out and got him a new trainer, and for him, maybe he's just doing it because he thought maybe a new trainer he'll help him. It wasn't his boxing. It wasn't his boxing that failed him. It was the fucking crooked industry that failed him. It wasn't. It was the promoters' influence upon people and scoring. I really believe. So you can't. Again. It wasn't the trainer's fault, but Triple G starts wondering maybe this is it. So he changes up. You never want to change. You never want to change things that are not broke, and he did by leaving Abel stable. I really think. I don't think he needed to do that. I think he needed to stay with who was truly there for him and working for him and working very well.
I think it's the money, though. That's what I think.
Maybe.
I mean, he signed
because Triple G never really got a lot of big money.
He signed with DAZN. He took his last loss to Canelo. He dropped Abel Sanchez. I don't know if that's to keep more money in his pocket.
Maybe.
But then
again, right.
I think Triple G feels that he's at a position where he knows what he needs to know going into a training camp, and Abel Sanchez is not going to tell him anything different that he doesn't already know, that he hasn't already been doing for years.
But that combo, I think, was working. And again, don't change what's not broke. But the fight game made him make it. I think made him make a decision. This is my opinion again, no insight. But I think he made a decision based upon what he thought he needed to do. He did everything right. I gotta say, I would say you did everything right, Triple G. You weren't doing anything wrong. You got fucking boned. Everybody knows that. You know that. But don't let them fuck your shit up. Don't let people throw you off your game because they're crooked. Stay right by who I believe loyalty is a big thing. If the guy's not working for you, he's not working, then get rid of him. But sometimes people get rid of people that they need because they get other people inside their fucking heads telling them things, and that's where you got enough going on. You should just concentrate on what is coming in front of you. You're a fighter. Get yourself ready for the next fight. Stop letting that fucking media and all this bullshit get to you and make decisions like that you shouldn't have to make and you shouldn't make when you're this close to, another big fight. Just get in there. What you have to do, unfortunately, you have to beat him till he doesn't get up, and that's what you have to do. It really does. I don't think he's going to win. He might now. The third fight.
They're not going to give him a decision.
He never know.
They're not going to give him a decision.
At third
Canelo
time
makes too much money, and they have to pay him too much money.
I know that, but you know what? You know how hard that is to do it for the third. People are gonna fuck that. And what do you want to see a fourth one? No, don't give these fucking promoters what they want. Another fight and big. Well, don't go to the fight. Don't pay for it. Don't give them in. Make them lose money on it. If you don't buy a ticket, if you don't pay for it, they lose money. Don't do it and show them that we're not gonna stand for this. And that's how you stop that shit. What
really needs to happen is Canelo needs to start fighting people that are at the top of the food chain in his weight class.
That's without a doubt.
I think Jermall Charlo is ranked number 1.
Right.
He needs to fight Charlo.
He should have fought him already. What the fuck's going on? Come on.
Yeah, he needs to fight Charlo, and I think that's
the best
just
of the best, right?
That's just Golden Boy protecting him because they don't want to lose. They don't want to put him in any situation where he
that's what they
has
do.
a chance to lose.
But that's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to look, man. When the Asians years ago, they would host a fight in whether it be China or whatever, Japan. Fighters came from all. They would give invitations up to people all over the world. And you think I'm bullshitting? You look this up, and they would send for this is before we had the web and all that. They would send for people from other parts of the world to come to participate in the best of their best fights. They really did. And that's what they did. They knew, this guy, our man's the best of the best here, but let's call out to England, let's call out to America. And that's what they did. And they brought the best of the best in, and the best man, made the best man win. That's what they should do here, and that's what they're supposed to do, but they don't. That's what's right, and that's what's fair, but they don't. It's all about money, corrupts everything.
Yeah, because Canelo is, I've even heard him, stuff coming out of Golden Boy camp or coming from Canelo directly. I don't know who the fuck said it, but that he would go all the way up to fight Sergey Kovalev.
See, that's
And Sergey Kovalev has already proven. I mean, great fighter that he was.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think Andre Ward put that to bed already. And I think even though Canelo, as technically a smaller man, would not be the smaller
He'd
man.
be the faster man.
In that fight, I don't think he would be the smaller man.
No,
in that fight. I think he would beat him up.
Because Canelo's a big guy. Look at him. The guy balloons up to what? What did you say? 180?
Yeah, he's probably. Walking around
he'll weigh in, then up to 180. That's a lot of weight to cut before a fight. In one night, you come from 155, then you're at 180 the next morning. That's crazy. He looks roided out.
He's a catchweight champion.
Exactly.
He doesn't defend at any.
I didn't like how he ducked Triple G from the gate, and he relinquished the belt rather than defend it. I didn't like that. That right there bothered me about Canelo. And I think Canelo's a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's the best of the best. I really
because
don't.
he's not fighting.
He's not fighting the best. He's not fighting the best of it. Here's another fight that we were there. We went to the fight in Vegas. We watched him. We watched. We watched. When we watched the fight, the old guy, Cotto.
Oh, yeah,
Cotto outboxed him. Didn't have the power, his power, but he went the distance, and technically he outboxed Canelo. And if anybody sits here and says that he didn't, you're just being, favorites, and that's it. I've watched it live. We watched it back home, and he lost the fight. Now he was the harder puncher, but he never hurt Cotto in that fight. And here's a guy that we all know.
Cotto's a tough son of a
He's
bitch.
a tough fucking guy. Cotto's fought everybody that was put in front of him. Cotto is a fucking real champion. Cotto, and at his age, and at the amount of fights that hard fights, tough fucking fights. This is what I'm talking about. Let's just look at this. Cotto is a fighter. He's a man's man. He's a fighter's fighter. This guy is the real deal. And because of this pick and choose this and that, and your opposition and all that stuff, the bullshit that happened to Cotto years ago with, what's his name, wrapping his... Margarito wrapping his gloves. And that, me and my brother watched that fight. It was crazy. Every time he smacked him, you hear this...
That guy put
something was wrong.
Cement blocks in his
basically,
fucking
that
gloves.
plaster hardens. I don't know if anybody knows about what this shit... I'm very familiar with it being around the construction stuff. This stuff will dry, and it turns... It's hard. Now, it gives weight too, because Margarito would have never been able to knock him out with that if he didn't have that. And he fucked. I mean, Cotto's face was getting busted up. It was crazy. Me and my brother was going, "What the fuck's going on?" Are they? And I'm glad that they caught that. Because that loss right there would have really, had it not been proven what was proven about the plaster of Paris being in the gloves, they would have wrote Cotto up, and they would have said, "Oh, yeah, paper check." No. The only way Margarito was able to do what he did is because he cheated. So that shit. Let's put it this way: what was that kid's name back in the day? Billy, Tommy or Billy? It was Irish kid that ended up. He lost to. It was a welterweight champion. Anyways, he did the same thing. They put stuff in his gloves, and he beat the kid. And then a week later, something after the fight, that kid got drunk and high, and everybody said it had to do with the devastating loss. He really got hurt. I can't remember. Forgive me for forgetting his name. Billy or Tommy something. An Irish kid out of Oklahoma, Arkansas, something like that. Anyways, he got beat like that with somebody cheating with. It was bad, but that stuff's dangerous. They used to do this stuff back in the 40s and 30s, 40s. It was bad, But again, we're back to these current fighters. These guys today, like Canelo, you made a good point. He's got to fight the guys that are especially when you jump up to their weight or down to their weight class and you take their belt. You should defend in that weight class. They should make you defend, and not just and if you're not, you got to relinquish it. And that's what he did. But that's bullshit. You just go down there. I'm going to pick who I want to beat because I know I can beat this guy. He's holding the belt right now. I'll pick him. And you go down and then beat him, and then I'll just won't defend it. No, dude, they should tell you, they should make the rule, if you come down and you take a title at this weight or up or whatever, you should have to at least defend it one time to a fighter that, other than the one you just won it from, other than the rematch, okay? You should if you win that belt, you should at least defend it to another top contender in that weight class, in that division. You should have to defend it. And otherwise, these guys, and then they'll stop these guys from jumping around, picking and choosing who they want just to get the record, just to get the check, and bullshit. It's not a game here, and they're treating this sport like a game. It's a joke. It's a joke. And believe me, if you're a fighter, I know this. If you're a fighter and you're having people play around with your livelihood or your hard work, in other words, you're a guy waiting in line and you see that shit going on and people are ducking you because you're waiting in line, that's fucking wrong. And these guys will tell you that. Now, there's not one of them that are sitting there waiting as a top contender, watching, not getting their shot because these guys are playing games with the titles like that. And these promoters are fucking playing with it. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Those influences got to stop.
Yeah.
So,
how about that Tony Ferguson and Cowboy fight?
There you go. Great fight. Two tough motherfuckers. I'm going to tell you right now.
Don't blow your nose.
Yeah, don't blow your nose. Believe me, I know. I've been hit in the face. You blow your nose, you swell right up. It's when they said he blew his nose. Oh fuck! I've experienced it before. Having a broken nose, and you blow your nose, and your fucking eye sockets just fill up with blood. And I guess that's what he did. They said he blew his nose between rounds. Yeah. And but yeah, I mean that because all the blood vessels are ruptured in his nose. You hit.
But Tony's a great fucking fighter. He's a great.
He's good.
Fighter. He's
a
great fighter.
Great. A tough. These guys are two tough motherfuckers. Ferguson's is a nut. I don't.
Yeah, he's crazy.
I don't think anybody disagree. He's fucking nuts. I don't know what happened to the guy, but he's fucked up. He used to work out at a local gym here in Ventura County. He had quite the reputation here, I guess. But
yeah.
I think they said before the fight he was in San Diego now.
Yeah, San Diego.
Yeah, but what a kook. I mean, he's a kook, but he's fucker's tough. And Cowboys.
And he made it a stand-up fight. I mean, he's a wrestling guy. He's great off of his back.
Yeah, and you think he would have took it to the ground because at the beginning there was an open round. Ferguson was hitting him at will. He was hit, and fucking Ferguson. I mean, Tony was. Cowboy was just hitting him. He was nailing him, and Ferguson was walking into it. And then the tide changed in that second round. But what a great fight! Both of the guys. Hats off to them. I mean, you think they should have rematched?
No. I think that Ferguson needs to go after Khabib. I mean, that fight was supposed to happen 3 times, sir.
I know.
3 times.
Yeah, well, yeah. But that's definitely a fight that should happen. And
3 times that fight should have happened. I mean, I know Khabib one time.
Do you think it's going to happen?
It should.
But you think it is?
Yeah, I think so.
You think it is?
I think that's what's next in line for that.
That's what Ferguson wants,
Of course. Ferguson's been wanting that for a long time. And I think now Khabib finally wants it too. I mean, Khabib just went on record the other day saying that, calling Conor McGregor a joke. I guess Conor McGregor was saying that he needs to fight him again. Joke. Yeah,
He's a joke. At this point, he's out there to collect the check. I don't think he trains hard. I really don't. He runs out of gas. And you're going to talk all that shit and get us all worked up. And then show us a fight. I don't think it's hard set. I think he's got the money now. He's out there fucking around. And the guys that are serious, like Ferguson's serious, it's no joke to him. It's a fight game. I mean, he's not out there stirring things up. Just he's
Who
not.
Wins that
the
fight?
only one that
Who
can do
that
and did it well, and he should, and it worked.
Who wins that fight? Khabib and Ferguson.
I think again, fighters make fights, and I would say
Ferguson wins it all the way.
I would say Ferguson would win
wins it
fight.
all the way.
I really do, and I think, and that's the reason why Khabib is probably not wanting to fight Ferguson. That nobody wants to. I don't think anybody wants to fight Ferguson.
Well, nobody wants to fight Khabib.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that. Right, but I don't think Khabib really wants to fight Ferguson because I think he knows that Ferguson's the one that can end his.
It'll be a stoppage. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Ferguson.
Right.
Because you look at Khabib is probably the best takedown artist
Right.
in UFC history
Right.
of all time, but he's a possession guy, so he's going to control possession from up top. But Ferguson is probably one of the best fighting off of his back. He's going to use those elbows, and he's going to make it a tough.
See what? That's why it's funny when you see a fighter like him, like when you see Ferguson, how he was eating those shots coming from Cowboy. I was thinking he's going to go to his back. He didn't. He didn't even.
But his cardio is just fucking great.
It's unreal.
He gets better as the fight goes on.
It's crazy.
And Khabib does tire out.
Yeah,
he does tire out.
See, that's what I'm thinking. But but I'm wondering. But Ferguson's sometimes his own his own mind will fail him. See, he stood there and fought with Tony, punch for punch, and a smart fighter would have said, "Hey, but I'm not doing so well. Maybe I better take this to the ground because I'm a wrestler. I'm a good." Why didn't he do that? Because he's got that machismo thing. Tough guy, come on, I'll punch for punch. You know, the guys are like these guys I used to have to stand there and they're getting hit and this guy's getting the best of them. Then they'll sit there and they'll hit their own face and they'll say, come on, he is coming on. That's why you're getting fucking hit. They get angry and they think, come on. That's only done in movies. That don't work in real life as a rule. As a rule, it doesn't. So the only one that could taunt you and then take you out that ever, the best thing was Muhammad Ali. You know, but there's not too many people. There's not anybody like him. You know, then nor now. But,
yeah. So, I think that fight will happen. I know that Khabib's going to be fighting Dustin Poirier down in Dubai. So that fight's going to be first.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know. I know, you know what fans want. But again, money influences all this stuff. You know. And it makes money sense when you look at why do you want to take a chance? And when you got a guy right here, people are paying big money for their tickets to see this person fight. You know, why rock? You know, why push over the apple cart? You know, just and I see, but for the fairness and the right thing to do, everybody once you're there and you're holding the belts, give the people that are owed the shot, give them their shot. I mean, we're not saying anything that hasn't been said by everybody out there. If you know, just give people a fair shot. You would think by now, that's why I used to like MMA so much when it came out. They would just shake it up and let the cards fall where they may. You know, they would just...
Well, they would fight fucking any weight class.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just open. Guys were getting just annihilated.
Yeah, very beginning. Back when we would rent those... Remember we would rent the VHS
guys
tapes
were getting
at Blockbuster
annihilated.
because it was illegal, you know, and this is... I mean, they were kicking each other in the balls. I mean, this is back. This is how far back. This underground stuff. And then when they got regulated, which was cool, which it put it out there for all of us, it was still really fair, and that's why you would see one like, let's see, a guy would win a title, then he might hold it maybe once or lose it the next time out because they were just letting the proper people come in and take. Now the money that's in there and established, they're getting established. It's the money influence now is changing. It's turning into they're doing this boxing thing. They're picking and choosing, and they're keeping a champ. You know, that's when that what we call paper champions. They're just mixing it up, and it's just dodging. It's just dodging for the sake of money, which is screwed. And I don't think the sport should be like that. It gets a bad name. Dana always said he hated that about boxing, but you know, here he is. He's still controlling factor, even though he may not be the owner. He's still calling shots, and he should. You know, I mean, he says he does, but there's some shit. Maybe some shit's out of his power. I don't know, but I think he has. I think he has all the influence in the world. And he should see that everybody gets a fair shot. And I mean, and for the most part, he did. I can't. For the most part, he did. He built that company on that, and that's what I liked about it. It was raw. It was fucking what it was. Best man, toughest guy that night, fucking won. That's it, and that was tough. That's why everybody was familiar with when he came over. When everybody with what's his name? Big guy from street fighting, Kimbo. When Kimbo, I used to like to go watch Kimbo because. I mean, he out on the street. That guy was the man.
Yeah, but he just got annihilated.
Then when he come over to where now there's more technical things involved, he didn't do so well. You know, he was just a run of the mill guy. He could still hit, but he was just a run. Man, you put an average guy on the street against him, or these guys that thought they were fighting, he would annihilate him. He was the best of the best street fighter. That is a whole different thing. You know, it's a whole different thing. Just like a boxer, I mean, an MMA guy has no business in the ring. Boxing a boxer will beat his ass. My money's on the boxer anytime. Technically, he's a better.
Speaking of that, did you see you heard that Justin Bieber called out Tom Cruise?
Yeah, they should fight. I think it's funny.
I don't know what the fuck that's all about.
I mean, you know why I think it's funny? Both of these guys, older dude, what is he, 56 now, Tom?
Yeah, 56, I'm sure.
I mean, I don't know why Justin Bieber's calling him out, probably because he's old, because Justin Bieber's a pussy anyways. See, here's the thing. Justin Bieber, this kid, when I first seen him, again, we're talking about music on this show also. Justin Bieber was a talent. I think you turned me on to his YouTube things that his mom would put online.
Yeah, he was like 13.
Fucking kid is talented, no doubt. We can't take that away from him.
Yeah, but why does he?
Okay,
but
this is what I'm saying.
With Tom Cruise?
Because
what's the beef?
Because
with
Tom Cruise is a real big popular guy, but he's also an old guy. Which technically, if they were both in shape, Tom Cruise should lose to a guy like Justin Bieber.
Tom Cruise would whip his ass.
Okay, I think so too.
Tom Cruise would whip
I
his
think
ass.
so too because I think Tom Cruise. I think anything he does, but these are two guys that are taken with themselves. There's two guys that have lots of money, taken with themselves, and they all of a sudden they think they're tough. I've watched these videos now with Justin Bieber out with this fucking so-called little posse, and this guy thinking he's fucking tough, thinking he's bad. Seen him get out of his car one day, gonna fight some guy in the street. I mean, one day somebody's gonna fucking clean his fucking clock. This guy needs to calm down. He's a singer. Do what you do. Sing and entertain. He plays drums. He plays whatever. He plays instruments. Do that and do what you do. But you know what? Yeah, would I want to watch that fight? Yeah, because I would like to see somebody get these fucking guys that think that they can fight or what. Just knock it off.
Shortly after that, on Twitter, Conor McGregor called out Mark Wahlberg.
Conor McGregor
on the same card.
Why?
Said.
But he would kill Mark Wahlberg. What the fuck? Because he hates Mark Wahlberg or what?
I don't know where that stems from. But.
That's funny. McGregor, that's it. McGregor's, but call me out, McGregor. I'd fight you. McGregor, I'm 58. I would fight you in a heartbeat. I don't think you could knock me out. And I would fight the guy. But that'd be some money. I wouldn't fight him for nothing. I would fight the guy. There's no fucking doubt. Because Conor McGregor, again, what is it, 150, $155? You know, that has nothing to do with it because I also believe small guys are always, for me, when I see a small guy go into a bigger guy, big, slow guy, I always go for the smaller guy because I've seen it on the street. Small guy, so much faster that he gets it done right away. Big guys are like, they're just not moving fast enough. They just can't get out of their own way, let alone out of the way of good punching. So, but saying that is that why would Conor McGregor call Mark Wahlberg an actor, a rapper turned actor? I mean,
I don't know. I guess Mark Wahlberg is he promotes some fighters. He actually promotes I believe he's a 135 pounder. I'd have to look it up.
Well, Mark Wahlberg, what is he? 45? 40?
Oh yeah, he's got to be up there. I guess one of
why? But see, I don't understand the mentality of McGregor. Why don't you just call it another fighter, an actor? What the fuck?
Yeah, let me see who he.
But he wouldn't fight a guy like McGregor wouldn't in his right mind because there's no amount of money would someone like me pay me up. I'm gonna fucking take your head off if I can. The thing is, Mark Wahlberg is first not a very tall guy. He's not a fighter. I don't believe he's ever trained. I don't know. Maybe he has. But that has nothing to do with it. There should be no contest. And what McGregor's picking, that's crazy. I see. That's how fucking stupid he is.
Yeah, he's
He's fucking stupid.
Everything for a payday with that guy.
Yeah, everything for a payday. You know. I like the I walked out of, I was at your house. I walked out of the fight on Mayweather and McGregor. It was like, I seen what was going on. I called it before I walked out. I said, he's going to do real good in the beginning fight, and then but he'll end up losing because he's not going to blemish he doesn't have an undefeated record. They made a deal that way. Mayweather, it was big money. It was big money. It wasn't a real fight. The outcome was what it was. I knew it was what it was. It was picked. And if anybody believed that horse shit, it's really, and that's why Dana was actually out there.
I mean, he should have been. That fight should have been stopped. The way he was fucking rabbit punching on the top of the head,
yeah.
Conor, the whole fight, it was ridiculous.
Well, it was either or. What they were going to do. See, I walked out on. I didn't see that part, but I did see how he was doing well against fucking Mayweather. There's no fucking way Mayweather would have been. I don't think Mayweather. I think they made a deal. Oh, you would sit that back and forth, and you do really good. Well, but in the end, I'm going to win because, of course, Mayweather wasn't going to. He didn't want to blemish his undefeated record.
So here's what Conor says. He's like, I challenged Mark Wahlberg on the very same card. He's like, back when Mark Wahlberg was Marky Mark, I would have slapped the ears off him and took my UFC shares back.
Maybe
Mark
that's
Wahlberg owns UFC shares.
Okay, maybe that's why he's calling him out.
So
just get your shit back in business, man. Do something.
After that, I guess Mark Wahlberg, he promotes Regis Prograis. He's a 24-0 WBA light welterweight champ who's currently managed by Wahlberg. Heard the challenge, and now he's issuing a threat right back to the UFC superstar. He said, don't call out no actors, dog. Regis says, call out a real champion. I'll hurt your ass. Regis says he wants, what does it say? Regis wants a 2-fight deal with Conor, one in the ring and one in the octagon. He's promising he'll win both.
Okay.
And that's what he says. Regis is 5'8", 140 pounds. So Conor walks in about 5'9", 150 pounds.
See, Chris just showed me. You see where Dana White PBC, they purchased PBC. That's crazy. And he's going to be the president?
He's going to run like he runs UFC.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be good.
He said the best fighters will fight the best fighters.
But that's what we're supposed to be seeing now. And all,
yeah, but who's signed to PBC?
They keep saying that.
That's the thing. You know, who's signed to PBC? Because
I don't even know. I couldn't tell you.
Top rank doesn't work with some guys. I know that.
See, that's another thing. They should not. There should be no restrictions. You should be fight all. I mean, everybody should fight across the best of the best. Doesn't matter who you. Right.
No promoters.
Fuck yeah! You don't need to promote yourself. I'll be just fine.
IBF title and the IBF.
These promoters are holding all the fucking cards. And again, Dana can say whatever he wants right there, but he's just proven to me what I've been talking about. He's going to now control who fights in the PBC. See, fuck that. There should be no PBC. I think these things should be ran separate. In other words, they shouldn't get into bed with each other, and they should say, "Hey, we'll make a deal but don't let promotion influence and corrupt the fighters and who they fight, and stop protecting stop ditching the guys that deserve their shots. It's bullshit, and it's not going to stop. It's never stopped. It's always been this way. Whether it was the gangsters running it back in the day, paying people to take falls. So guys, and people always say, "Oh, I would never take a fucking fall. I would never fucking lay down, for no amount of money." Well, you know what? You weren't fighting at those times. These guys would come, they were decent fighters, but you know what? They were getting dodged and ducked, and pretty soon they're getting to the point where they're a good fighter, but yet they know they're never really going to get a shot. So you know what? They take a dive. They start taking dives because you know what? They have to eat and have to survive. And that's how that got started. The corruption got started, and the reason why a good fighter that was potentially would take a dive, because he got jerked around and got to the point where now his age was against him, and maybe his abilities because of his age. Anyways, he takes a dive, and people are like, Now you see what I don't understand is when guys are coming up and they're the best of the best, and if their fucking record stands for itself and it wasn't padded anyway, he should have never taken a dive. Andrew Galata was a guy that I wondered what the fuck he would be winning fights and he would just fucking quit. Or do something. He started with
that guy was owned by the mob or something. Though
was he? I mean, was it ever proven? But he had to have been. I looked at that guy.
The Polish mob or something like that. They had their hands in that guy's pocket.
Probably so, because it was weird. He would start fucking hitting illegal. How many times did he hit a bow in the nuts? Fuck, I don't know how many times in that one fight. It was like crazy. He did it in the second fight. It was crazy. It was obvious. And then there was that punch. He went down the corner. He was looking around I think it was it the Linux fight or
yeah, I think so.
Anyways, he sat there in the corner. I'm like, he wasn't in. Come on, man. And he was winning on every fucking round. It's crazy. So there's a guy that was really bad, and another guy I always wondered, but I don't think it was a payoff at all. A guy that, for whatever reason, I couldn't figure why he quit in the middle of a fight that he was winning. Victor Ortiz, local buddy here.
Yeah.
Out of Oxnard.
I don't know about Buddy.
Well, you went to school with him. But this guy, what the hell?
I don't know about Buddy, man. Maybe Chris's friend.
Well, I got to call him out. I got to call him out. I mean, here's a guy I'm going, hey, Oxnard, all right, man. And this guy's fighting like a warrior. Then all of a sudden.
That's he started fighting out of Ventura.
Huh? When he started fighting out of
Ventura.
Ventura.
It was always Kansas by way of Ventura.
Yeah, Kansas by way of Ventura. Like but, I mean, come on. You hear the guy up around town, around Ventura and Oxnard area. And I'm thinking, all right, I'm with this guy, just like I used to be with back when. Like Robert Garcia was from this area,
He was a good fighter with some speed and some power, with no heart. I mean, he needed to take a walk.
I went back and I kept going back I went back to his old fights. And I said, well, look, he had some wars, and I'm thinking he had plenty of heart. And all of a sudden, it just boom.
No heart, and the money got to him.
Yeah, and the money got to him, and he didn't want. I think what happened.
He started coming after.
Right, like. Was quoting shit from like the Rocky movies. He lost that eye of the tiger. It was like he got soft. But man, I know. And I remember when Danny Garcia was in his corner as trainer, and what was his name that broke his jaw?
Josecito
Lopez. Yeah, he. I knew his jaw was back. I see it was. All Danny was doing the right thing.
All he needed to do was just last one more round.
I think he had 2 more rounds left. I think there was 2 more rounds. And Danny was saying, see, if you can get the ref to stop the fight and get the ref or get them to call the doctor in and they stop the fight, then it'll go to the cards and he would have won. He was fucking way ahead. All he had to do was stay. He didn't even have to throw a punch if he didn't want to get close enough. He would have stayed on his bike. He would have stayed away, not got hit, and just keep your mouth shut and don't get hit. I mean, I don't care if you're running around that circles around the ring. Let the ref, and then maybe bring attention to their jaw. But he didn't listen and the fucking pussy didn't listen to his corner. That's what, and I say pussy because that was a stupid move. Nope, it was broke. There was no doubt. I'm not saying you didn't have a broke jaw. There was no doubt. I knew it was broke when he got hit. But yeah, I mean, he didn't listen. And Danny's, there's no doubt. His whole family, the Garcias, they know what they're doing, and he didn't listen. Here's a guy, for whatever reason, and I don't think it was for money. I just think it was because he didn't have the desire anymore. He just said he lost it all. And you go back and you look at his old fights. You see how hard he fought. He was hungry then, and once he got to where in a position where he really didn't need the money. Look what he did. He just that's what I'm talking about. Some people they're fighting to get out of the ghetto. They're fighting to get up, because that's all they can do and that's all they know. But they still fight like that after they're champs because they just have that desire to win. They don't have that. They're not going to lay down. They're not going to be paid off. They're not going to let the promoters jerk around. They'll fight the next guy. That's why you see a lot of fighters show up at ringside, and when one guy wins, you'll see that guy show up, then he'll get up in the ring and he'll start calling that guy out in the ring because he does that because he's trying to get a shot, and he knows that if he does it and the American people see it, fight fans see it, they're gonna roar, about this fight happen, and so it's a mess. I don't know. There's a lot of fighters, a lot of good fighters, a lot of bad fighters. Let's go back to the beginning. Tie this up. Let's round this up with these heavyweights. Heavyweights division is probably the weakest division I've seen in years since I can't remember when. I mean, there are a lot of big guys. Just because you're big doesn't mean you're tough. Ruiz proved that. Ruiz proved it right there. I think we need fighters back like we had when Tyson was fighting and. When even Ali, I know I'm going back, but I have to go back to that because it's true. The caliber of fighters out there today wouldn't have been able to last against the guys of yesterday. They wouldn't, and now these guys would get mad if they heard me saying this. They'd say, "Oh, we'll kick your ass." Well, yeah, you probably would, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm not a fighter. You are, so they're going to be pissed at me. But again, like I said, if they don't know who the old man is, they should. And you can look and look and look. You'll find out if you look hard enough. And I'm not going to tell you who I am.
With that being said, we'll go ahead and wrap up this first episode of Inside the Ring with the Old Man. Until next time.
That's right. Till next time.